In June 2023, Hendrick Motorsports rolled a 3,400-pound NASCAR Camaro onto the grid at Le Mans, surrounded by Ferraris, prototypes, and the most advanced endurance machines on the planet. Most of the motorsport world treated it as a sideshow. Then the timing sheets dropped, and that American stock car had lapped quicker than Ferrari's best GT entry. Nobody was laughing anymore, and almost nobody understood how it was possible. The Automobile Club de l'Ouest created the Garage 56 program in 2012 as a dedicated single-entry class. This invitation-only slot bypasses traditional category rules, allowing manufacturers to test experimental designs, alternative fuels, and new systems directly on the Circuit de la Sarthe without occupying a competitive grid position. For the centennial running of the race, this developmental space went to NASCAR. Hendrick Motorsports, the winningest organization in stock car history, stepped up to manage the entire campaign. The team prepared a heavily modified version of the Next Gen Chevrolet Camaro Zilla 1, entering the car under the symbolic number 24. The project served as a serious factory-backed engineering effort supported directly by NASCAR, Chevrolet, and Goodyear, built to withstand 24 hours of continuous punishment. To pilot the machine, Hendrick assembled an unlikely trio of drivers from different corners of global motorsport. Seven-time Cup champion Jimmie Johnson brought stock car mastery. Former Formula One world champion Jenson Button provided precise open-wheel experience. Two-time Le Mans winner Mike Rockenfeller anchored the effort with extensive endurance racing expertise. This multidisciplinary lineup transformed the run into a legitimate athletic and technical experiment. The core question was whether a heavy stock car could actually belong on this legendary stage. On paper, putting a modern Cup car on the starting grid at the Circuit de la Sarthe felt like a clash of racing cultures. European endurance racing celebrates aerodynamic sculpting, carbon fiber chassis, and lightweight agility. Stock cars represent a different tradition: heavy, steel-tubed, and built to survive the high-banked ovals of Daytona and Talladega. When the Camaro arrived in France, the visual contrast was stark. It sat in the pit lane next to low-slung GT cars and sleek prototypes, looking like a massive, boxy intruder. To many European fans and journalists, the entry looked like a marketing gimmick. A heavy American stock car negotiating the tight chicanes, heavy braking zones, and the relentless 8.5-mile road course seemed structurally mismatched. The narrow, public road sections of the track offered no room for error, making every assumption about oval-only racing feel exposed. Hendrick Motorsports faced immense pressure. They carried the reputation of American motorsport on an international stage, where any failure would validate the old stereotype that stock cars only turn left. To earn respect, the Camaro had to be more than a loud curiosity. It had to prove it could run a competitive pace for 24 hours. The official timing sheets from the centenary 24 Hours of Le Mans contain a single, staggering data point that upends the entire narrative. On lap 257, during the cool night hours, the Chevrolet Camaro stopped the clocks at 3 minutes and 50.513 seconds. To put that number into perspective, the fastest lap recorded by the premier Ferrari 488 GTE Evo in the actual GT field was roughly 4 seconds slower. The heavy front-engine stock car had outpaced Europe's most refined GT machinery on the most demanding road course in the world. But this benchmark requires precise framing. The Garage 56 entry was a class of 1, exempt from the strict balance of performance limits that choked the speed of the competitive GTE field. The Camaro carried more horsepower and larger aerodynamic aids than standard GT regulations allowed. This was not a head-to-head victory in a regulated class, nor was it a claim that NASCAR had conquered Ferrari in every aspect of sports car racing. Instead, the timing sheet served as a pure engineering proof of concept. It was a verified metric proving that modern stock car technology, when freed from its traditional constraints, possessed raw performance capabilities that shocked the international paddock. To understand how a stock car achieved this pace, look at the architecture of NASCAR's Next Gen platform, introduced in 2022. For decades, American stock cars relied on the Gen 6 design: a rigid steel tube chassis, a solid live rear axle, a circulating ball steering box, and 15-inch steel wheels. That configuration was built primarily to turn left on high-banked ovals. The next-gen blueprint changed almost everything, shifting stock car architecture closer to modern touring and sports car design. The live axle was replaced by an independent rear suspension, allowing each rear wheel to react to track bumps independently. Rack and pinion steering replaced the sluggish steering box, providing the precise feedback required for road racing. Instead of the narrow tires of the past, the next-gen platform adopted 18-inch aluminum wheels. This swap allowed for larger brake packages, with Hendrick fitting carbon ceramic rotors to handle the extreme deceleration zones at Le Mans, paired with wider Goodyear racing slicks that increased lateral grip through high-speed sweeps. The old 4-speed manual transmission was replaced by a sequential 5-speed transaxle, combining the gearbox and rear differential into a single unit to improve rear weight distribution. Underneath the car, aerodynamics underwent a quiet overhaul. Where old stock cars relied on high-drag bodies, the next-gen car featured a flat, carbon composite underbody, a front splitter, and a rear diffuser to manage airflow beneath the chassis. For Le Mans, Hendrick Motorsports refined these native features. They fabricated carbon fiber dive planes for the front fenders, reshaped the lower splitter profile, and tuned the rear diffuser, generating 30% more downforce while keeping drag minimal on the long straights. Hendrick also swapped the standard 5-lug hubs for a single nut center lock system, allowing the crew to change tires in under 10 seconds. The car was not a compromise. It was a highly adaptable platform, operating exactly as its designers intended. A single fast lap can be an anomaly, but 24 hours on the Circuit de la Sarthe leaves no room for luck. Endurance racing demands a relentless consistency that oval racing rarely tests in the same way. Every shift, every heavy braking zone, and every transition from damp tarmac to dry asphalt placed sustained stress on the Camaro's experimental systems. Success required precise execution in the pit lane. The Hendrick crew adapted to Le Mans regulations, winning the GTE Pit Stop Challenge with tire swaps under 10 seconds. On track, Jimmie Johnson, Jenson Button, and Mike Rockenfeller managed their stints through traffic, darkness, and a late race drivetrain scare. When the checkered flag fell, the number 24 car had completed 285 laps, over 2,400 miles, to finish 39th overall out of 62 starters. Surviving the clock validated the raw speed, turning a surprise benchmark into a legitimate result. Reducing this effort to a single headline misses the real victory. This run was not a literal conquest of European sports car racing, but a quiet dismantling of long-held assumptions. By proving a stock car could survive the world's most grueling road course, Hendrick Motorsports forced international engineers and fans to reconsider what American stock car technology could do. The initial low expectations are what gave the achievement such immense weight. Ultimately, the Camaro's run transformed the global perception of NASCAR, turning what many dismissed as a marketing stunt into a respected statement of modern engineering. Today, the line between stock cars and global endurance racing is permanently blurred. It proved that bold, unconventional engineering can challenge the world's elite. The era of dismissing American motorsport technology is officially over. What is your take on this crossover? Let us know below.